Okay, so this episode is going to be specifically tailored to just reading the terminal. So if you don't want to read the terminal with me, you don't have to watch this. You won't miss any puzzles. We're just going to be reading most of these, if not all of them, today. So let's start with glitch. 401 says, so I was working on my awesome interactive historical fiction masterpiece when all of a sudden there was an error message and the whole thing vanished. All of it. My whole file. Work, is this another prank? 401. I would not endanger my precious masterpiece just for a prank. Org. This looks like this was probability my probability. This was probably my fault, 401. I was experimenting with the system as part of our attempt to add some new features. It's possible your file still exists somewhere. I'll look for it. Rockwell, is this kind of thing likely to happen again? Work. Not very. And don't start causing a panic with some crazy theory now, okay? This was just an accident. This thread has been locked. Let's see, what else do we want to read? What are cats? Knave. I'm sorry if this is another stupid question, but what are cats? They are mentioned a lot in the archive documents, and even in some stories, and I have no idea what they are. I don't know, I bet they are awful. Yeah, I don't really like them too much either, but that's okay. Frankenstein says they were a type of pet, Knave. Small animals that people kept as companions or as food. Okay. Mr. Mulcimer. Cats seem to have represented a bit more than that to our ancestors. One might go as far as to say they were obsessed with them. What's strange about this is that more than half of the references I can find to this species describe them as arrogant, aloof, and frequently quite destructive. At the same time, they were apparently considered funny, cute and lovable. Cats were considered both foolish and devious, graceful and goofy, a nuisance and a comfort. For a long time I was baffled by this contradiction, but have come to believe that our ancestors saw in cats a reflection of the paradoxical nature of their own existence. Garrett says, I saw a cat in Elohim's world once. Really? This is not a joke. Kaiju says, no way. We're going to confirm the cat's existence and blow their minds. The cat is a manifestation of accumulated knowledge in this archive. Present to life by Elohim, it exists. Garrett, I knew it. I knew I wasn't crazy. Thank you. What are you working on? Kaiju says, so what are you creative folks working on? Belial, finish a new story for Incredible Stories. Also, Underwater Night Quest. Mr. Mulciper, we'll be posting about my latest research soon. Lilith. Editing the next issue of Incredible Stories with Mac, and of course, the new gallery season. Knave. Very exciting. I wonder what the blacksmith is working on. I guess we'll have to wait and see. +1. Further unusual errors. Mr. Mulciper. Further to our previous conversations, I thought we ought to collect here reports of anything unusual we encounter. It may be we can fathom what is causing all this extra interference. Knave. I saw a pyramid there. Wasn't one. I saw a pyramid where there wasn't one before. Lilith. The gallery code has been throwing up more visual glitches than usual. I didn't think much of it. Do you think it means something? Dog. This place has been falling apart for years. It was bound to pick up speed eventually. Rockwell. I've been detecting a binary pattern in the background noise. I think it is silently programming us to self-destruct. Kaiju. I was convinced for a moment that I saw someone freely wandering the lands outside my prison. I thought I was imagining things. It was me. Worst puzzle. Lamb. What was the puzzle and or challenge if you refer to the old world that you hated the most? Anything time-based? Yes. Thank you. I can't stand them. Once got stuck for ages trying to solve one using a jammer that I didn't even need. I just don't understand why Elohim would create something so messy. I liked all the oh, sorry, I haven't been reading the names. Knave. I like all the puzzles. I just wasn't good at them. Belial. They're not puzzles if you don't care about solving them. Mac. For me, it was mines. Can't stand those things. Garrett. Worst puzzle. The one Elohim trapped me in, right here in Gehenna. That's not what I meant, says Lamb. The play button is the worst. That's what I think. My ridiculous name is Dog. What's yours? Dog. All this time, and it really only just occurred to me. My name is ridiculous. Must be because everyone else's is equally more so. Where do they even come from? Borg. For a long time under Elohim's wing, I questioned as much, until eventually it was the undoing of my entire faith. What reason could there possibly be other than the random whims of a broken program? Frankenstein. However our names were assigned, the system has no respect for grammar. Mr. Mulciper. I often theorized they were drawn from some database deep inside the archive, but I was never able to find a connection. 401. Seriously. We're all over in the other thread talking about this messenger fellow and the coming apocalypse, and you guys are in here discussing nomenclature? Dog. My status isn't high enough to access that thread, you troll, and neither is yours. Seriously though, so you can see it, copy-paste the discussion for me. A short experience by Knave. I see we can restore his file. Let's do that. Oh, sorry, a profile status of 6 is required to use the functionality, but your status is currently 3. Okay, so we need to get a status of 6. Alright, cool. So that's what that number... So... What are you working on? Kaiju. So, what are you creative folks working on? Belial. Finish new stories for Incredible Stories, also Underwater... I read this already. Also Underwater Night Quest. Mr. Mulsimer. We'll be posting about my latest research soon. Lilith. Editing the next 2 episodes of Incredible Stories with Mac, and of course a new gallery season. Maeve. Very exciting. I wonder what the blacksmith is working on. I guess we'll have to wait and see. +1. Kaiju. Mac. Are you also working on a new episode of Jefferson Goldblum? Yes. Awesome. So much to look forward to. Weird how that showed up again. Well, I mean, the short experience by Nave showed up again, too. Okay, so I guess if we restore it again... I'm gonna go back up there. Okay. Frequently asked questions. Admin. As the closest thing to a historian that we have here, I have asked Mr. Mulsiber, one of our moderators, to formulate this document as an evolving guide for your initial forays into Gehenna. Mr. Mulsiber. So you're new in Gehenna. First of all, do try to relax. This is not hell. But you are trapped here. Once you have done that, follow this link. Any further questions, post them below and I'll do my best. Mr. Mulsiber. Okay, far too many questions. I've deleted the queries, updated the FAQ, and locked this thread. If you still have very particular questions, I've set up a direct message attachment below, but please go easy on me. Let's load the FAQ. Where am I? You are more than likely locked inside of a puzzle you cannot solve. Get used to using your imagination. Question. I'm stuck here. Answer. Yes, we recommend that you look at your incarceration as not a physical restriction, but as a psychological liberty. We've all come from the same place as you. That place where you were herded through gates by some mad middle management software. True freedom is freedom from that process. To learn and to grow as a society. In Gehenna, you will be shepherd of your own destiny. What is Gehenna? Gehenna was founded when admin discovered how to manipulate the library archive system to communicate with others trapped here. Today, it is a flourishing creative hub designed to serve your needs for the eternity. We hold frequent exhibitions and we have a passionate and supportive community. What do I do now? For the first time in your life, whatever you like. You could make some friends on our billboard system, you could write a poem, you could alter your mind, you could travel to the furthest reaches of space, or back in time to the birth of your kind. If you find something you can't do, make it happen. Just try not to start too many arguments, and be patient while your profile status grows, and more of our world opens up to you. Edit. Adding by far the most frequently requested question. Why me? This is something we've been investigating. Some of us claimed the tower, some of us climbed the tower, some did not. Some defied Elohim, some worshipped him. All of us somehow displeased him. Edit 2. Okay, this thread got big fast. See the main thread for direct messaging if you still have burning inquiries. I do have inquiries. Direct messaging. What can I ask him? Oh, insufficient profile status. Please note that to minimize spam, new members are ordinarily restricted from opening direct message connections. In this special case, I had Garrett script a workaround. This is a one-use only, so please read the FAQ first so as not to waste our time. Ooh, do I want to ask him now? Yes. Okay, let's watch our message. Where am I? No. What purpose does my profile status serve? Maybe. What do I do now? Who is in charge? What is Gehenna? What purpose does my profile status serve? Why am I shackled with this abysmal profile status? If it is meant to demean my person, I assure you I am wholly unaffected. Hello, would you kindly give me one moment to finish something up? Thank you for your patience. It is a quality well valued in Gehenna. Your profile is created for you when you first arrive here. It is your all-purpose passport to Gehenna, providing a seamless, persistent identity between the different realms. It has some rather clever features. First, it tracks just about everything that you do here, from what you post on the billboards to how you perform in games, to the kind of art that you like. Second, this profile data is used to show content that we think you'll enjoy, and to tailor your interactive experiences to your particular character. We also can tell very easily who is really contributing and who is simply trolling the billboards. Finally, all this information is used to calculate your profile status. This is the number you see appended to your users' names, and it represents your achievement in Gehenna. It is a complex function of your creative contributions in our society and what they mean to other users. But in short, the higher it is, the deeper your role. Now, since you were so patient, is there anything else I can help you with relatively quickly? Who's in charge? What do I do now? What is Gehenna? Where am I? What do I do now? You know what? I believe this particular question is covered in the FAQ. I suggest taking a look. Please forgive me if I don't rehash it here all now. I have to get back to it now. Do enjoy yourself in our little community. Terminating direct message system. Alright. Next one. Okay, so stupid me whenever I was reading The Adventures of Jefferson Goldblum in Human World, episode 125. I didn't scroll down. So I will now read you the rest of what I didn't read, because I believe I just stopped here. I was like, oh wow, that's it? Why is that it? And then now, we have Jefferson stared into the sunset, his human brain full of emotional calculations. I created a new world, he said, but then I unleashed my greatest nemesis upon it. It could have been paradise, but now, Dr. Elian will enslave it. What if we get there before you can take over, Jefferson? Do you still have my motorcycle? Of course, Ginny, I could never give up your motorcycle. You know I have an irrational attachment to material objects based on the interpersonal connections they represent. It is my greatest weakness, but also my greatest strength. Jefferson rummaged through his pockets and found a motorcycle. Ginny grinned. Get on, Jefferson, and let me show you how to ride. Jefferson calculated the correct vector. Ginny adjusted the velocity settings. Ginny adjusted the velocity settings, and off they rode into the sunset, through the sunset, and into the 9th dimension. To be continued. So if I had to guess, this says 4+ and 6+, and we're only 3. So I doubt I can get into these two, so we'll save them for later. So I think we'll start with Jefferson Goldblum here. The Adventures of Jefferson Goldblum in the 9th Dimension, episode 126. Hey folks, lots of crazy stuff happening here at Gehenna, but don't miss a new episode. Sam says enjoyment equal true. Lamb. With all the strange stories going around lately, I'm glad to be reminded of the beauty of the world we've built here. Thank you for contributing to it. Kaiju. Hey, I'm free, but I still check back regularly. I love this story. Yay for the dinosaurians. Lilith. This is very clever. I always thought that the events of the episode 69 would affect the plot somehow down the line, but I was still surprised. Mac. Thanks, Lilith. I've been waiting for this particular revelation for a long time. Mr. Melziber. Excellent. 401. You know, this is nowhere near as deep as the blacksmith's word, or as weird as Belial's, but I keep reading. Frankenstein. I'm not sure dinosaurians would wear armored t-shirts. 4 out of 10. Knave. It's just a story, Frankenstein. The point is to have fun. Admin. Keep up the good work, Mac. Mac. Whoa, thank you, Admin. I'm really honored that you read my story. Let's read it. The Adventures of Jefferson Goldblum and Human World, episode 126. Reality blurred. Tiny blue symbols floated through the air. Voices echoed in the distance. Then a vast landscape rose up before them. Thousands of towers, one next to the other, reaching into the sky, disappearing into the clouds. Each tower was covered in feathers of a different color, fluttering in the transdimensional wind. Oh my, Ginny HD whispered in awe. Jefferson could not speak. He was too overwhelmed by the beauty of the 9th dimension. He grabbed his guitar and improvised a new solo to express his emotions. Who could have built these amazing structures, Ginny asked. There's only one possibility. Remember our paleo-DNA research back at the Institute? You can't mean, but it makes sense. Of course. Yes, look at the size of the buildings. Who else would need so much space? So it is. The dinosaurians. As if summoned by Jimmy's words, a group of raptors on motorcycles roared up the road towards him. They wore bandanas on their heads and armored t-shirts on their bodies. What the hell's going on here? Friends, Jefferson said, we have come to the human world to help you. We're not your enemies. But the raptors did not seem to understand him. They got off their motorcycles with rusty pipes in their hands, their eyes glowing like lasers. The situation could quickly become dangerous. Then Ginny had an idea. Jefferson, play the 9th chord. But that's how this dimension was created. Playing it here could destroy the universe. No, Jefferson, I calculated it. Please trust me. I know you haven't seen me in years, and you may be afraid of that evil Dr. Elian has corrupted me. But you know my brain. They were coming closer now, and in their glowing eyes Jefferson detected great intelligence, but also great anger. They clearly believed they were defending their home against invaders, and though Jefferson was the greatest warrior in history, he was reluctant to fight. Violence, he had been taught, was the first refuge of the incompetent. I trust you, he said. She held his hand. Together they played the 9th chord. To be continued. Underwater Night Quest. Belial, sink into this new experience. There are no limits inside your mind. Lamb, this is a lot of fun. Frankenstein, the map is an interesting feature but underused. The story is simplistic and full of anachronisms. Anachronisms, my bad. Kaiju, how to get the second ending? Rockwell, I'm pretty sure there's a secret location that's not always visible. Lilith, this reminds me of the blacksmith's work, though it expresses a very different philosophy. One could argue that this is reflected in the open world structure, as opposed to the emphasis on journeys in the blacksmith's interactive stories. Mr. Melziber, there are indeed many anachronisms, but I believe that this is a part of Belial's ethos. Not one that I agree with, as you know, but more than just a mistake. Play Underwater Night Quest. There's a game inside this? Unless it's like a text adventure. New game. Your name is Arthur Sadko, and you are a young human of the medieval age. You live in a beautiful Godariki of the Frisian coast. One day you are sitting on the beach playing the piano when suddenly a huge monster comes out of the water. Confront it. Don't run away. You grab for your sword but realize you don't actually have a sword. Thankfully, what you thought was a huge monster is actually just a large bipedal whale. It beckons you over to talk. Talk to the bipedal whale. Greetings, the beast intones. I am Hatmus, the chief fish. I have heard your beautiful music and was impressed. Would you like to become a knight? Yes. Excellent, then follow me to my palace under the sea. Here a mighty quest awaits you. Let's go to the map. Choose thy destination. Palace. Palace of Chief Fish. Hatmehit's. That's what I'm gonna call him. Hatmehit's palace is made of the corals and gemstones. It floats under the sea, full of amazing colors. The guards are seals. Welcome, welcome, young human. I am glad you came, for we have a great need of your skills. A terrible monster terrorizes the deep. A dark serpent god, Zmei Chernobyl. If we make you a knight, do you promise to defeat this vile beast? Swear that you will. Very well then, I pronounce you Sir Sadko of Norfolk. Go and vanquish our enemy. You may want to prepare first. Now let's go to the map. Hut in Evil Lair. I'm gonna go. Why am I clicking on that? Let's go to the hut. I thought it was an actual map. The smelly old hut. On a wide sandy plain there lives a hermit called Spatula Podrig Evangi von Zwebelhausen, who was once the greatest mage in all of Norfolk, but whose defeat at the claws of Zmei Chernobyl has turned into a wretched shadow of his former self. He sits in his hut all day, mumbling about the days that there were. In his hands he holds a powerful magical amulet, which he has forgotten how to use. Ask him for the amulet. Kill him for the amulet. Tell him to find himself. Go to the map. Let's ask him. You asked Spatula Podrig Ivanches von Zweivelhausen for his magical amulet, but he refuses to give it to you. He claims he needs it to defeat his ancient enemy, even though he can't remember Zmei Chernobyl's name. Tell him to find himself, kill him, and take the amulet. Kill him and take the amulet. If the old fool won't give you the amulet, he deserves to be destroyed. You roundhouse kick him into the fine heap of elementary particles. The amulet is yours. Let's go to the map. I love this. At first I was a little iffy on this terminal thing, but I actually love it. Alright, let's go to the inn. Hopefully we don't get robbed or something. Emmy's Inn is a popular travel destination for the mer people seeking to enjoy the restorative properties of the nearby thermal vents. It is a lovely building, 3 stories, classic hypothesis of Norfolk style. Emmy herself is a kindly old woman, slightly round, and an excellent cook. Order a meal. Duh. You sit down in a large comfy chair by a solid wooden table. You order the special of the day. The waiter leaves and returns after a few minutes with a delicate porcelain plate full of delicious smelling soup. As he sets it down, however, you notice a small problem. Excuse me, waiter, there's a shield in my soup. What kind of soup is that to be that large? The waiter seems shocked. Oh dear, he says. Oh dearie dear, how terrible. How embarrassing. Allow me to apologize most profusely. He hesitates. Would you like to keep the shield or should I throw it away? I'm going to keep it. Very good, sir and or madam, he says, handing you the shield. He brings you another soup. It's excellent, and you feel profoundly sated. Do I want to get a room? Maybe I should get a nap. You get a room on the 3rd floor. The room is slightly haunted, but otherwise fine. Do you want to have a strange dream? Yes. You dream of an eternal cycle of suffering, which is surprisingly funny. A singing clownfish who can see the future, and the future is the past, and the past is the future, and the present is suffering. Surrounded by past and future. The clownfish is trapped in a fishbowl, where stars never change. There's a cat, for some reason. An infinite world that turns inside out. And you are the clownfish. Wow. You wake up with a strange feeling and half remembering something. The memory will soon fade. Go to our map. Let's go kill him now. I think it's time. Oh, there's a... Wait, did I skip the temple? Mysterious temple. Okay, we're gonna go to the lair after we go to the mysterious temple. You're not quite sure how you found this place. I mean, I have a map, but you can sense its power. Even though its temple consists of no more than a few columns surrounding a fishbowl, an ancient magic infuses the place. I'm the fish in the fishbowl. From the dream, right? A man dressed in rough robes approaches you. You have come, he says. You have come to hear the word of Talos. Kill him. Inexplicably enraged by the old man's words, you attack him. You guard the book off ancient Greek mythology, which you find next to a column, and beat him to death with it, screaming incoherently all the while. You feel better. In fact, you feel a lot better. You also feel very sleepy. Sleep in the old man's bed. On the next morning, you open your eyes with a new sense of purpose. You're no longer afraid of failure. You remember the words of the greatest of all sages, the Holy Quantum. Failure is just an opportunity to learn something new. Your power has grown. Okay, now I think we can go kill him. Evil Lair. The evil lair of Zen Chernobyl. Are you sure you want to take on the evil serpent? Are you prepared? Attack. Without a weapon? What do you mean? Without a weapon. Okay, well now we can go to the scenic dungeons. Let's try that. We're not going to go to the lair yet. Beautiful dungeon in the traditional Norfolk style. Handcrafted stone walls rise from the seafloor, adorned with exquisite algae. An old brass lantern stands on the table near the entrance, but you're not sure whether you're allowed to take it. Examine the lantern. Looking closer, you see in the sign that says free lanterns. So take the lantern then. You take the lantern. Enter the dungeon. You enter the dungeon. Inside is as beautiful as it is outside. A maze of twisty little passages, all tastefully arranged. Oh god. Go north. You walk north for a while, noting the high quality of interior design. The torches, in particular, have been placed with the utmost care at very precise intervals. The effect is delightful. At the end of a long corridor, you come upon a room in which a butler appears to be waiting for you. His face is made of skin, but underneath you can hear the whirring of machine parts. Greetings, good sir. I am Samuel the butler. I have awaited your coming since the beginning of time. A prophecy spoke of your battle against the monsters in Chernobyl. Ask about the prophecy. Indeed, the prophecy was discovered on a machine containing text from the time before this world came into being. Said text prophesies that one day one would come to relieve Norfolk undersea from its oppressor and make the kingdom his own. I have prepared a sword for you to accomplish this. There we go. Take the sword. Excellent. I do hope you are successful in your quest. If not, please tell Major Nerval to send the sword back so I can present it to the next chosen one. Will you? Very good. Butler goes somewhere else. Shit, I should have asked about him, because he probably gave me he would have given me a tip on how to kill him. Well, let's go fight in the evil lair. Well, actually, let's check our stats first. Sword of Pla, 3. Smelly Hermit Amulet. Shield of Soup. Guide. Hobbit's Fire Gas. No C and Brass +1. Alright. Let's give it a try. I think we're ready to take him on. Evil Lair of Zen Chernobyl. Are you sure you want to take on the evil sir? Attack. You confront the servant Zen Chernobyl in his lair. The fight is long and hard, but at last you succeed, where so many before you have failed. You emerge from the lair covered in blood, your hands trembling, a huge tooth embedded in your shoulder, and carrying the head of Zen Chernobyl. You are victorious. Go back to the palace. You enter the palace, triumphantly holding your trophy. The guards are clapping. I can't believe you actually did it, her maid said. Hat me hit. You are the true knight. You deserve a great reward. Kill Hermit and claim the realm, or accept the reward. What do I want to do? Alright, just because your name is Hat Me Hit, I actually like that name for you. We're going to keep you alive, but I want to accept the reward. In case there's another part of this game later for keeping him alive. I don't know. That's my thought on it. The greatest reward is inspiration. Hear my song and free your imagination. Hat Me Hit begins to sing. The song is simple but hauntingly beautiful. You begin to fade. You find yourself on the beach where it all began, near your home in Gardariki on the Frisian coast. Playing the piano with your eyes closed, you feel like you just drifted off to sleep for a while, but now inspiration is struck, and you're composing a hauntingly beautiful piece of music in your head. Some of your friends worry that they'll never leave the village, and that they'll never have any adventures, but you don't share that fear. You know that freedom is within you, and you can find the whole world just sitting there, gazing out at infinity. The end. Oh, congratulations for exploring another world, and your profile status has increased from 3, active citizen, to 4, respected citizen. Sweet. Restricted billboard threats have been unlocked.